And welcome back to the Don't Make This Weird podcast. Kind of feels like deja vu.
It's deja vu.
Weird. We'll talk about that.
We will totally talk about that.
We can talk about that. And I'm hanging out with Tony, as always, in the sound captain engineer chair.
Is that how that works? Okay.
That's how that works. And tonight we've got a really cool episode. We're going to be talking about all kinds of different things. Glad that you guys are joining us, that you found the link, and that you're hanging out with us because we want you guys to chime in. We've got a couple people that are shuffling in as we're talking.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, so one of the things that we usually start the week out with, if you're new to the Don't Make This Weird podcast, is how was your week?
My week?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So I'm a glutton for punishment, and
Yeah.
I make my brain hurt all of the time because
Mm-hmm.
I've been educating myself on so much different stuff.
Right.
And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I think it's so funny how much stuff I'm doing now that I'm not smoking.
Yeah, good stuff though, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because I read so much more now.
That's good.
And I kept asking myself, I'm like, what was I doing before while I was smoking?
Letting your brain rot. That's what you were doing.
it was just crazy. So, but yeah, it's like 3 weeks and
Very cool.
5 days?
Very cool.
Something like that. 4 days, I don't know.
Huh.
But no, I obviously writing music, organizing stuff, trying to get, the computer and everything else here functioning properly. Did a ton of pre-production with Mitch.
Cool.
Obviously the silly season's around the corner, so I'm trying to avoid the public at all costs.
I thought
they're
it was,
assholes.
Yeah, missed Black Friday. Sorry about that. Not sorry.
If you stay home, you don't spend shit and save everything.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
Right. Yeah, definitely did not participate in the Black Friday. I did work at Bronner's.
Right.
And it wasn't bad. Like, I didn't get called out to the floor, so that was kind of cool. Thought for sure that was going to happen because we usually get busy. But the thing with Bronner's is that they don't do any special deals or anything. They don't participate in anything like that. They just, they don't.
Well, you know why it's called Black Friday, right?
Because people have died on that day.
Well,
Greedy people.
Granny, run your ass over in a fucking Amigo. But no, it's called Black Friday because that is literally the absolute last part of the quarter of the year for them to get their quotas for their profit margins out of the red and back into the black.
Makes sense.
So, of course, they make a bunch of these price cuts or supposed price cuts to put their profit margins back into the black. And it's like, well, that's interesting. Now, some companies are legit giving you deals, but you have to do the due diligence, pay attention to the prices and all this stuff. And it's not a conspiracy. It's just, hey, we're going to give you a deal. And of course, now that's been kind of a thing for the past few years, which is another thing, studying the Hudson Bay Company recently, which is really cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's why they call it Black Friday, is it's one of the absolute last times of the year to increase their profit margins out of the red back into the black. Because if you're in the black, you're good. If you're in the red,
not so good.
Not so good.
Right.
But yeah, Black Friday, the day
Makes
after
sense.
Thanksgiving.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I've worked retail for probably, good God, I want to say like almost 20 years almost.
You work for the man.
Holy moly. I didn't even realize it's been that long.
Fuck the man.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. But trying to get back.
So how was your week?
I'm trying to get back onto the chat here, man.
What the hell are you doing? One job, Heather.
One job. Anyway,
I'm over here multitasking.
We'll get there. There we go. My week's been pretty incredible, actually. Not to brag, but Adam and I have been out at Stone Cottage Farm.
Cry farming.
I will talk about. I will tell you cry farming. I told you the story last night.
That
and
was
you were
brilliant.
Dying.
Oh God.
So, but it's been.
Shout out to Farmer Chrissy and Dave, by the way.
Yes, they are in France right now, enjoying their time. They trusted.
I see London. I see France. I see someone's underpants.
They trusted us. They trusted us to watch the farm. So far, so good. Other than an incident.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
You know who
So
Hey is, don't you? Who, do you?
the chicken.
The chicken
Okay.
from Moana or whatever it is.
Right.
This
So
shit is fucking funny.
all right, we'll get into it. So first, I just want to say though that it's been really cool because it honestly is really good for the soul to be out there. It's peaceful.
I
it's,
love that
it's
place.
calm. Taking care of the animals is like a whole nother different kind of appreciation.
It gets you back to earth the way you're supposed to be.
Really does. Like it's not me feeling like because I go to work and Adam same thing. Adam goes to work. He does the morning chores. I do night chores.
Right.
If we're off together, we do work together. And it's been a really cool experience learning from each other on where our strengths and everything are at. But talking about Adam, so I came home to do the chores, the night chores, and at that time, it's getting darker early now, and I get out of the Aztec and I'm looking on the ground because it freshly snowed, and I'm like, there's a lot of like big turkey footprints like all over the yard. What the heck, man? That's pretty interesting. And then I got sidetracked because I seen a package on the front porch, and I was like, oh, I got to take that in.
Right.
Got to change my clothes, get my farming clothes on, because, So I go and do that thing, get ready, let the dogs out, all that business. And I head on out, and I'm all just happy because I'm going to go see the goats and chickens and everything. And this is rewarding and fun. And I get walking over to the mobile chicken coop, which is very interesting. They have it in an old RV.
Okay.
So they can move it around wherever. So it's closer during the wintertime, which is cool.
Right.
So it's in a fenced-in area. Okay. And when she was walking us around, showing us all of the farm, first thing she says, this gate stays closed at all times.
Of course.
Do not leave this gate open. So walking towards the gate, and it's wide open. Wide open. I'm like, oh my God, no. Like instantly, I'm freaking out. So I get in there and I shut the gate behind me because I know you shut that gate at all times. You don't mess with Farmer Chrissy and Dave.
She will fuck you up.
No, she's great people. They were not. But in my mind, I'm going, she's trusted us. She trusted us to be here to make sure that everything is good. And I look inside and I'm in my panic mode. Chickens are all there. Rooster, whatever, chicken, whatever. And, 2 of the turkeys are there, and Tom is missing. Frickin' Tom is missing. And he is their breeder chicken, or turkey.
Right.
He is their only male turkey that they have. Big guy. They've had him a while. Oh, I go into panic mode. He's gone. And I don't know anything about birds. I'm learning very little about goats. Don't know much about farming, but I wanted to learn. I thought this was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Panic is sinking in.
Of course it is.
And I'm heading over to the barn and I'm going, I can't believe this. I'm texting Adam, did you leave the gate open? Oh my God. In all caps, And I'm holding back the tears. I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to just turn into a puddle on the ground out there. I'm just, oh my gosh. I'm freaking out. So I'm like, okay, well, that guinea hen came out and then he went in the barn, so maybe Tom's in the barn. But then I'm like, well, let me look and see where the prints are all going,
Yeah.
They go towards the woods and then there's no more. Oh my God, something's going to get him. He's going to die. And I'm going to owe them a turkey and then. So I get in the barn and I'm like, okay, I still got to do my chores. I got to feed all of the goats. I got to, just got to do this. So I get in there and I'm getting the dolings and the bucks done, the bucklings, the little ones done.
Right.
And which is hard for me because of how short I am to lift the hay up. It's like hay confetti. So throwing it over, I'm wearing all of it. So I'm trying to work through that part.
Right.
And still freaking out. And I'm trying to pull everything together, and I lose it. I lost it when I went into the big doe's stall. I'm in there, and I'm like, hey guys, and I'm feeding them, getting the water. I'm like, I can't believe this turkey's gone. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They're like, I'm sobbing at this point because I'm so afraid that I fucked up.
Right.
And so I come back out after I feed them, and I'm sitting on a bale of hay because I just can't do it. I'm just like, why is this happening right now? And then I look down, and there's a third cat, and I'm like, they don't have 3 cats. Where'd this cat come from? I'm like, and I'm sobbing, ugliest cry face in the freaking world.
Right.
And this cat climbs up on my lap, and he's just like purring, and he's licking my tears, and I'm like, I don't know where you came from, but thank you. And I'm just like having this meltdown, you know. And so he ends up like getting startled by something and bites me, and I was like, oh, we were friends for a minute. And then Adam's trying to call me and everything, and I answer the phone, and I'm like, I can't believe you left the gate open. And I'm just like crying and
cry farming.
Cry farming. I've done cry cardio, but I've never done cry farming.
Yes.
And this is the 3rd day.
Yes.
Right, third and a half days.
Sure.
Whatever. So he's like, they roost in trees. They're going to be okay. I will tell them. I'll write it in the message. It's my responsibility. I messed up. So what happened was the reason why the gate was left open. It's still not a good reason, but
Right.
I get the rundown.
Yes.
So first night there, one of the guineas was out. Hey, I call him Hey. We'll get to that. One of the guineas is out, and he was like bumming out about it. So he messages and tells them, you know, one of your guineas is out. What do I do? We're trying to get this thing back in. It's useless. Like, no. If you've never been a farmer, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Don't do it. Just don't. So I learned that night when I went to go and feed them and everything that if you get close, they run the other way. If I come around, I can get him to run towards the barn, and the barn door is open. So he ran in there, and I was like, okay, good. So second day, Adam's still like disturbed because this guinea is outside of the fence, and what it's doing is it's going bark, 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 bark. Like, but louder and more annoying, not like a chicken. So it's going back and forth, and it's just like fast, like back and forth like this, and we're sitting there going, man, that thing is going to kill itself just running back and forth, trying to figure out how to get back in. So he messages them, and they say, don't worry about the guinea. They're too stupid. And this happens like every day or every other day. They get out. Just don't even. So he's still concerned about this thing because it's Adam, and that's just what he does. And he doesn't want to leave this animal out. He's feeling really bad about this. So he leaves the gate open, trying to get the guinea in. Well, he got distracted. I don't know what happened.
Diabetes brain.
And he left the gate open. So, you know, here I am like falling apart into a freaking puddle, crying on a bale of hay, you know.
Cry farming.
Cry farming. Ugly face, cry farming. And then, you know, I got the rest of the chores done in there after the cat bit me. I hung up with Adam. I'm like, I just gotta go. So I see it pop up in the chat, and he explains everything that's going on.
Right.
And he says, well, it's roosting, and I promise first thing in the morning I will go and I will get him. He's going to be okay.
Right.
And he's positive, and I love that about him. I'm like, okay. So I go back out because I got to go collect eggs and, you know, finish up out there. I open it up, and I'm like, son of a bitch. He's in there now.
Right.
Which I was still happy, but at the same time, I'm going,
how the hell did he get in there?
What the hell? So, you know, Farmer Chrissy's like, oh, Adam, my friend, don't worry about it. Everything is okay. He'll go back in there. They can all fly over the fence.
Right.
So they can get back in, except for the guinea. Don't worry about the guinea.
Hey.
So I call him Hey, like if you ever seen Moana. Yeah. His name is now Hey. So when I go out in the morning, I'm like, Hey. Hey, what you doing? Oh, just running the fence again? I see what you're doing. So, you know, it's been an incredible experience, and one that I'm definitely learning from because, wow.
All I can think of is the scene in Moana when they're on the boat and Hey-Hey's in the little like cargo hold.
Yeah, pretty much.
Turns around.
Like, you got it, like right dead on. So, but it has been really cool. I've learned, like, the first night I was like, very weak, having a hard time lifting the buckets and all the different stuff. Like it was. They have cameras in there.
Farming kicks your ass
Yeah.
physically.
They have cameras in the stalls for kidding season.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like laughing after the fact. I'm like, if this is recording, they're gonna be like, what is happening? Because I just like I was a mess the first night. Oh my god, I had hay everywhere. It was like I'm used to having glitter everywhere, so I come home from Bronner's to do chores and I have glitter and hay everywhere, and I'm just like, that's not right. Like, but I'm learning, like, and now I can lift that bucket. It's no big deal,
Right.
and it's just been really cool. And me and Adam have thought about it. We're like, this would be kind of fun to do. Have something, not any extreme as how many that they have out there, because they have a lot. They have a lot of goats. Yeah, they have a lot of goats, but it's been really cool though. It's like very, very humbling and very peaceful, and I'm learning a lot of different lessons, and that was definitely one of the lessons.
Cry farming and hay.
Farming and hay. But yeah, and their eggs are incredible.
I love their eggs.
Oh my gosh!
Anytime I go out there to get soap, which I got to get out there for Christmas.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's soap too. Oh, that's another perk. That is another perk about watching Stone Cottage Farm, because they make incredible soap. She said she left it in the message. She's really cute. She made up a whole list of everything, and they had everything. Well, in the last final note that they left before they took off, they said, okay, there are baskets of soap everywhere in the bathrooms. Choose whatever kind you want to use. And I was like, really?
Will he? I will we love goat milk soap.
I really love their soap. So it was just like, you walk in there and it's like,
right. You've come to the holy mecca of goat milk soap.
She had given us the option of whether we wanted to, because we're staying overnight there because they've got dogs and cats and everything, and so it's been interesting because she gave us the option. She's got her soap room has a bed in it, which I told her in the beginning, because she said, please don't leave that door open. I already knew, and I said, yeah, we're not sleeping in there. That's not gonna happen, because I knew better. Like I knew. So anyhow, so she's got that whole room full of soap and all of, it's just a beautiful place. It's very comfortable.
Absolutely.
Very comfortable. But that was also a cool bonus. It was like all kinds of soap I could choose from.
And it smells amazing.
Yeah.
In that room.
So it's been very cool. Very cool experience.
Great.
So so doing, working and everything, but I don't have that, I gotta go do chores and freaking out. It's been very enjoyable, actually, and we're looking forward to hopefully doing it again if they ever go on a trip. So
growing up on the farm, it was great. It taught you amazing character skills.
Yeah.
Because any given day you're giving birth to whatever farm animal, and in the same breath you're going 2 stalls over and you're having to put down a pig or whatever, and it's crazy because you like the circle of life all day long growing up on the farm. Now I loved a lot of the stuff because it taught you fortitude, it taught you resiliency. If I have to shovel another stall full of shit ever in my life, it will be too
But was
soon.
was it for horses, or was it for what was it?
All the above.
Everything. So you actually grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
My uncle had a farm. My other uncle had a farm. We grew up picking rocks out of the field.
Oh yeah.
It was shit.
There's a lot.
I was driving a tractor by the time I was 9 years old.
Right.
Helping my cousins cultivate the fields and plow stuff under and plant and seed and all of that stuff. It was great.
We're not crazy to believe that this is like the easy, because right now with it being winter, the milking season's done. All of the goats have been on their dates, so they should be pregnant by now. Whatever, I don't know when they started it or whatever, but they've got it down to so they're not in the hot summer and all that stuff, which is cool. But I know we're not crazy to believe that this is all that it is to it. We know that there's a lot more to it. We don't have to do the stalls, but we've also decided to consider or to talk to them when they get back, to come in to learn how to do like the stalls and the
Yeah,
different stuff
yeah.
because one of our things is we wouldn't mind going out there and helping. I mean, we told them this before.
Of
We're like, we'll
course.
come out and help so we can learn. We just want to learn. We don't want to get paid for it. We just want to learn.
Yeah,
So,
and I've extended the
you know.
invitation several times to them because I love the atmosphere out there. I love what they do.
Mhm.
I've grown up on the farm. I know how to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm incredibly thankful that they gave the opportunity to you guys so you could learn trial by fire.
It really is. It really is. But like I said, it's been really cool. There has been some weird instances, but I'm going to get to that in just
All
a
right, yeah.
second. We got some stuff happening in chat. Kenna is joining us. She says, "Hi guys. Hey Kenna, how's it going?"
Stop, Kenna.
Jeff Graham is hi.
Hi all.
Hi all. Hi all. That's what he
El
said.
Jefe.
Hi all, and he says, "Remember what's happening?" TV show. Hey hey. Yeah. And my dad is joining in. He says, "Hello y'all. Hey
What's
Dad."
up, Pops?
I sent him a message because I know that he likes to come and join us on the show and hang out and listen to what we got going on, which is really cool. Thank you for supporting, Dad.
Yeah,
both
Candy just
that.
messaged me and said, unfortunately, she's out of data.
The worst.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Shout out to Candy, though.
Yeah.
And
shout
6
out to her.
degrees of truth serum, which is amazing.
Yep,
That
for
page is
sure.
just freaking awesome.
And everybody else that's joining in. I know that it has been a little bit odd. Chris hasn't been here.
Yeah.
Chris is on his adventure right now. He's got about 2 more weeks before he'll be back in. So you guys are kind of stuck with us, but we're so glad that you guys are hanging out with us. We've got a lot of different things that we're going to try to talk about.
Yeah.
And then resume after the crazy season with getting more guests back in.
Yep.
I know you guys love the music and everything else that we do. So, hang in there. We'll be back with all that stuff right now. But tonight, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. And the instance that I want to talk about.
I wonder if they actually read the description of the.
I don't know.
Let's see here. Let's see if they actually read it.
It's possible.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go to the description of the video in the live chat, like it, smash that like button. Damn it. Where you at? There you are, right there.
Right there.
Smash the like
don't
button.
be pointing over at Nate. He's doing his job.
Says join us on Don't Make This Weird podcast every Thursday. Delayed. That's awesome. Tonight, Tony and I talk about weird wonders of the world. What are your thoughts? Chime in on live chat. See, it says right there.
I know. I
I've got
typed
my
that
phone.
in, weirdo. So one of the weird instances that have kind of happened at the farm.
See?
So it is an older house. So you hear creaks and different stuff in the house. And the first thing that happened when we were out there, it's happened a couple times. They have this china cabinet and the door has just been like wide open. And there's no reason for anybody to be in this china cabinet. There's nothing in there that we need, nothing in there. There's no reason for that door to be open. So it's been kind of weird because we'll be out doing something else and then we come out and we're like, "Did you open that?" He's like, "No."
Right.
"Did you?" No. It's just kind of been weird. So that was one thing that was kind of interesting, but that could be debunked easily. Like,
Of course.
with the older floors, they're all wood floors, so stepping in the right spot could make that door open if it's not closed good.
Right.
So there's that. But tonight was interesting. Adam had left all of the lights on for me at the barn, and when I was walking out there, I'm looking at this particular window going, "Oh, that's weird." I'm like, I'm seeing this, light through there for the first time because usually they're off and then I go into the barn and turn everything on. So I'm walking by doing everything and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm looking down where the kidding stalls are," and you've been there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking down there and I'm like, "Okay, that's where that window's at." And I look and all of the stalls are completely closed.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. So I'm finishing up chores and everything and I walk by and the very last one by the window is wide open. And I'm going, that wasn't open before? Yeah. So that wasn't open before. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange. I'm the only one in here other than all of the animals. And there's no animals down there. So I go back down there and I shut it, but pushing down the latch, and it's not one of the latches on the door, it's one of the metal ones that hook into the hook.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to push it in there to close it.
Okay.
So, I mean, theoretically, that could have been not closed. Like, the latch could have been on, and who knows. But when I walked by, I swear to you, they were not open. So that was very interesting, But walking out there to the barn
Yeah.
in the dark and everything is still eerie to begin with.
Eh.
For me, I'm just like,
Well, you're not used
I'm
to
by
it, so
myself.
yeah.
I'm not used to it. I live in town. There's always stuff happening where we live at. You can hear people outside, so I'm used to that.
Right.
But I'm not used like I lived up north a long time ago, with my dad, and we lived where it was kind of similar to that. It's the woods right there, everything like that. It was peaceful. You never really, completely different atmosphere than what I live at now. So that was kind of interesting. So you kind of get in that mindset, already. Well, I did anyway. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on stuff like that? I've had some pretty interesting experiences.
My thought process keeps going back to like Mater from Cars. The ghost light.
Oh, jeez.
No, I mean, it's weird. Growing up on the farm, you experience some fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question or denying that. But like you said, you can always debunk that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because, you literally, when you're growing up on a farm, the whole thing is a living, breathing organism.
Yeah.
You've got animals, you've got critters, the list goes on of stuff. The wood from being rubbed a certain way because one of the critters are like, oh, I like this, so I'm going to rub on it.
Yes.
I mean, you've got hay or straw or whatever it is that you put it up in the loft, and after a certain period of time, if it's not dried correctly, it'll explode and combust.
Right.
And all of that stuff is insane. I mean, same thing with like corn and some of the grain elevators or whatever it is. So the whole entire farm life is a living, breathing organism.
Right.
So you get some weird vibes every now and then.
Yeah.
Like fertilizer. There's fumes that come from fertilizer.
Oh, yeah.
That get you high as shit.
I believe it. I totally believe that.
And, watching the right kind of having a real bad day when that stuff doesn't gel together well and you're leveling half of a cornfield because one of the fertilizer bins blew up.
Right. Well, and then
So,
people have talked about like the paranormal activity and different things like that. Have you ever heard of where like certain electrical can cause you to feel like you're having a paranormal experience?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts when you watch have you ever watched any of the paranormal? I'm sure we all have.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is the shows, the real ghost hunters or whatever that stupid bullshit is. It's great entertainment if you want to watch it once just to see what it's about.
Right.
But much past that, it's all fucking priming. People are priming your brain. You're going to experience something that's haunted here. Subconsciously or even consciously, depending on who you are, that's what you're going to believe. Okay, in this area, right here, right now, I'm going to experience some haunted shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you've already been told that you're going to experience it. I mean, I remember growing up, like I lived in Cass City, and I don't know if you ever heard about Bogey Bridge. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's always been a thing about Bogey Bridge. I never really ever went there, so I never experienced any of that stuff. But you hear all these stories growing up.
Right.
Of course, your brain's going to be primed for it, like you said.
Hidden Hollow. I mean, over in Millington there. I grew up, and Hidden Hollow is at the end of a dead-end road, dirt road. And by the time you get to the end of this dead-end road, the foliage and the canopy over the road is so dark that at high noon, when full sunshine is out, it's like dusk.
Wow.
It's
crazy.
Insane. It's creepy as shit out there. But, anybody who's been out to Hidden Hollow, it's like, oh, man, there's some crazy shit that goes on out there. It always seems like someone's watching you. And it's like, okay. So you go out there, and people are like, oh, man, you feel that? Somebody's watching you. You're priming your brain.
Right.
So it's, do I believe in like things that go bump in the night? Absolutely.
Okay.
But do I believe that ghosts are real and all this haunting shit and blah, blah, blah? No, it's all priming and it's stupid shit. I don't believe it at all.
I find it interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
I definitely find it interesting. I've had some different experiences throughout my life too. Some of the stuff though, like being younger, one of the things is when we moved up to Atlanta, we had purchased a trailer off of somebody, and when we moved there,
Yeah.
in one of the closets, like they had like an altar set up. There was a Ouija board. There was all kinds of different stuff in there. So you kind of, and I was young at that time, so my brother tried to explain some of it to me.
Right.
But there was some interesting stuff there that kind of felt really creepy, and I don't know if it's because of being explained. Yeah, these people had this here, and there was like So to me, I kind of maybe already felt that there was stuff going on there.
Well, and that comes down to education and being naive with a lot of stuff. Because if you're not educated in it and you don't understand it, that primal fight or flight part of your brain ultimately comes down to, I don't understand it, kill it, stab, die. Or you fear it.
Right.
Maybe not to that extreme, but that it's that innate part of your brain where if we don't understand it, kill it, get it away from me, go away, fight or flight or freeze or whatever it is. So of course there's the innate fear of something that you don't understand or that you're naive about.
Right. Yeah, there was some different interesting stuff that happened there. I mean,
yeah.
And you kind of stop and you think, you're like, okay, did that really just happen? There was times when I look at my brother and be like, did you just see that shit? Like, did that really happen? And I remember I was telling the story about my brother used to put his hair up in a mohawk.
Yeah.
Well, we used the Ouija board with the hairspray to put that thing up. And he told me that he kept on trying to get rid of it, and it wasn't it kept on, like, coming back somehow. And I have no idea. I've heard that many times from other people, too.
Of course.
So I don't know. I don't know much about that. Not really my thing. What's some of the other stuff, too? Like, he was trying to teach our dog how to skateboard, and it was working. It was kind of cool. But we put the skateboard on one of the chairs, and it, like, literally flipped and was on the ground and then rolled away. I was like, that was really freaking weird. So, I mean, there's different things that can happen. Like I said before, you can debunk them.
Right.
One of the other things that we went and did the paranormal investigation at Bruce Manor.
Right.
And that was pretty interesting. My family, we all went. My aunt and they love like the haunted stuff, the different shows and different things. They get into that. And my one cousin, Stacy, she likes to debunk everything, which I find interesting to have somebody like that in the group.
Sounds like she's a big fan of Harry Houdini.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yep. Well, Harry Houdini, obviously, anybody that knows him, was an incredible musician.
Yeah.
And later in his life and his career, and he was still doing, he was an escape artist. He was doing all this incredible stuff. But his mother had passed away. So a lot of these people who were communicators of the other side, if you will, were taking advantage of people, lifetime savings. We can communicate with that, or we can communicate with the other side.
Yeah.
So what him and his wife would do would go around and debunk these mediums and these psychics and all of these other people. And expose them to educate some of these people that were naive, that were losing this money because they were con artists.
Yeah.
And then you had Houdini and his wife going, no, this is bullshit. Somebody have like, their knees shaking and make the table rattle. Or somebody was really good at throwing their voice and be like, oh, Mrs. Adams.
But he would see, and they would both see what it was. There was an actual show that came out with what was his name? The scrawny guy, actor.
Which
he played? I can't think of Adrian Brody.
Oh yeah.
He played Houdini in that, and that was actually pretty good. I thought I really liked that one a lot.
Movie.
Yeah, so if you guys get a chance, check that out. It's older now. It's been probably 4 years since it came out.
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer, but that one was really good. But
yeah.
There's so many different things. Like when we went and did that at the Bruce Manor, they talk about the what happened, with the owner that used to have the place.
Priming.
He apparently, from what they told us, is that he hit somebody one night and buried them in the yard or something. I don't know. It was like a whole thing. And then they were talking about all the different stuff in the house that had happened that they had experienced. They give you the equipment that you can use for it, but there was always somebody with you.
Yeah.
So you never were allowed to go and do any of the investigation on your own.
Well, of course, because they want you to have the most optimum experience.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to set you up of, hey, let's go check this out over here.
Yeah.
And you're already primed, so you're freaking and going, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there was a story for each room,
Of
different
course.
things that they
Of
experienced
there
in
was.
those rooms. And like I said, we were there probably about like 3 hours or so into it, and nothing was really happening. And then like it seemed like when it got closer to midnight, stuff started happening.
Well, yeah.
Different things. The one thing that they had was where you had the static, and you could ask questions, and then you could hear stuff through it, possibly whatever it would like channel through, like
Right.
kind of like a radio or whatever. And my cousin said, how many spirits are in this room with us?
Right.
And it went to 7, and it was really kind of creepy at that time. But like I said, there's somebody else that's holding that. There's somebody that was with us.
Of course.
It's hard to say. You never know what.
Right.
But they were doing those tours, and the money went towards fixing the place up.
Nice.
So I mean, I get that. That was cool that they were doing that to try, because that place is really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a really cool house. It is creepy. It's super creepy. It is. We went there because and which is funny because they do the paranormal investigations there.
Yeah.
But they were also doing haunted house there too.
Interesting.
You're right. Right. So they had stuff set up, and when they decided that they weren't going to do that anymore, they were selling it.
Yeah.
So Ryan from Wicked with the Terror went there to buy some of the stuff. And when we were there, like, I don't know why it felt creepier when I was with them, but it felt creepier when I was with them.
Right. So
that was pretty interesting. So, which this brings me to, I was listening to Unsolved Mysteries today.
Dun, dun.
I know. It was pretty interesting, though. So I was listening to that, and they were talking about...
I love Robert Stack. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
That dude was intimidating as fuck
Yeah.
in The Untouchables.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you seen The Untouchables?
I think you know what? I don't know.
Holy
I thought
shit.
I did.
Well, here's the thing. If you ever watched Beavis and Butthead Do America,
Yes.
it's a direct callback to
Mhm.
that, where Robert Stack plays the CIA or the FBI investigator in Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh my gosh.
It's the same thing, only in Beavis and Butthead, it's it's a parody of his character that he played in The Untouchables.
Oh gosh.
So yeah.
So one of the ones that were on there tonight, because we are talking about the paranormal at this part in the
Right,
show, was Resurrection Mary. Ghost called Resurrection Mary haunts the city of Chicago. So there's been so many different claims and sightings and different things. And on the show, one of the things that they said was that there's so many different times that people have seen them, different things, instances, that it's hard for them to kind of not wonder about whether or not this is real.
Of course.
So one of the things, so the case details are, in January of 1979, a Chicago cab driver stopped to pick up a female passenger at the front gates of Resurrection Cemetery. So that's what the cemetery is actually called.
Nice.
The final resting place of more than 150,000 souls. But before he could let her in, the mysterious woman disappeared. The cab driver had just met Chicago's most famous ghost, Resurrection Mary.
Wow.
So Richard Crowe was a local historian and folklorist at the time of the sighting. So he quotes, "I think that of all the ghost stories worth of believing in, Resurrection Mary is the one with the best documentation. The witnesses that I've found are remarkably level-headed, and they're primarily blue-collar, middle-class types who have steady jobs and who have no other major claims to psychic encounters in their lives." So then it goes on to, as the story goes, the first person to ever encounter Resurrection Mary was Jerry Pallas in the year of 1939. He was at a Chicago dance hall where he was a regular, and Jerry was captivated by a young blonde woman and immediately asked her to dance. He learned a little about her, except her name was Mary, and she lived on the south side of town. He danced with the young woman all night, and when it was time to leave, Jerry offered Mary a ride home. Before his death in 1992, Jerry was interviewed about the encounter with the Resurrection Mary, and he described the events of that evening. So what it said when I was listening to it is that he danced with her all night long and then offered to give her a ride.
Yeah.
And when he offered to give her a ride, she told him to stop right outside of the Resurrection Cemetery.
Okay.
And he was like, well, why are we stopping here? You told me that you live over on this other, other side. And she's just like, I need to be here. And as soon as he said that, or she said that, he said that he turned back and she was gone after he had been with her the entire night. So then he went to go meet her, tried to go find her
Yeah.
to the address where she said that he was, or she lived.
Yeah.
And when he went there, he asked about Mary to
Yeah.
this woman that answered the door. And
Yeah.
she said, there's no woman named Mary here. But he could see into the house and seen a picture of her.
Okay.
And he said, no, that's the girl I'm talking about. And she said, that's not Mary. That's my daughter. And she was, hold on, let me see. I can't remember if she was in an accident or what had happened to her. I think she was in an accident.
Okay.
So anyhow, she said, no, that's not Mary. This is my daughter. And she was in an accident, killed in a traffic accident a month before her 21st birthday, and was laid to rest in Resurrection Cemetery in her favorite white gown, which people continue to see her in that gown. That's the story. So he was very floored by the fact that to go there to even know, So, it's interesting. These things are interesting to hear because part of me is like, yeah, I kind of want to believe that because that's pretty freaking eerie and cool. But part of me, I'm like, okay, well, how do you debunk that?
That's a very good question. I mean, obviously, there's a story there.
Right.
So why would you not want to carry on the story? And, it's sad what happened to the Mary.
Yeah.
But, of course, you're going to carry on that story.
Right.
And hopefully, in the process of all of that, I don't know, you're safer in driving? I don't know.
Right. I mean, there's people that literally say that they will not go at certain times of night because they're afraid that they're going to see her because I guess there's been several sightings.
Right.
But you never know. That could be someone totally messing with people walking around in a white gown, just messing with people. You never know.
And that's what's so fucked up about people. I hate the fact that people manipulate other people just to make a buck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's so fucking shallow. But, people do it all the time.
It's been happening for so long.
Yeah.
So long.
I mean, I firmly believe we need to educate ourselves and stuff like that because, once you've had your eyes open to how fucked up the world is, it's really hard to close them.
Yeah.
And not share what you've discovered.
Right. And I kind of feel like throughout my life, I've been very naive with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm saying now that I'm not so much. But there's so many things out there. Like you said, one of the things that I do is I listen to a lot of FBI shows.
Murder porn.
Yeah, is what other people call it. I listen to a lot of that, and you learn a lot of stuff. I don't listen to it for the aspect of what's happening and how they do these murders, or know, because a lot of the stuff is like, man, I will cringe when I listen to some of it because it's creepy. It's unbelievable to believe that people actually do these things. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing is, growing up, quicksand was a huge thing. It was in cartoons, it was in movies. So growing up in the 70s and 80s and realizing that both of us watched cartoons, watched movies, did all this other crazy stuff, I thought quicksand was going to be a bit more of an issue.
Yeah.
That I was going to have to teach my friends about. Hey, don't go out to this place. There's quicksand out there.
Right.
I never had to deal with quicksand.
Not so much.
Ever.
Right.
Of course, all of the cartoons and shit that we watched.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It's like, okay, cool. The last thing you do is when you're in quicksand is panic. I know how to fucking deal with quicksand, but I've never had to deal with quicksand.
Right.
Ever in my life.
There's definitely a fear put out there.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, so why don't we learn about, I don't know, Self-defense.
Yeah. No joke. But I mean, like growing up, when we were younger, it was always we have a word
Right.
that you should know. If people try to pick you up, if they don't know that word, don't go with them.
See,
I mean,
that's the thing. Is
but
we weren't dumbasses growing up either. If somebody comes, hey, you want to ride? Dude, I don't fucking know you. Piss off.
I know I'm chubby, but I'm gonna get away. No,
Right. That's
it's
my
not
point.
gonna happen.
I love
Yeah.
the fact that they taught us that stranger danger.
Yeah, but it started with John, the guy that did the oh dang it, I watched these shows too. His son was kidnapped in the 80s.
Right.
And he went on to do was it Unsolved Mysteries that he did too? No. Most
No.
Wanted, I think it
Yeah.
was. And he did that show because of his son getting kidnapped. And, you know, that happened when his wife was at a department store, and this was in the 80s.
Right.
And, you know, he was playing on a video game, and they were fighting. The kids were fighting over it. So the security guard told him to go outside.
Right.
She had her back turned for like 1 second, 2 seconds, whatever.
Right.
And the kid was kidnapped. And then they found him with his head gone.
See, and that's the thing is those events are so sad when they happen.
Yeah.
But when you look at the minuscule percentages of that stuff happening.
It's not so much now. There's more now.
Well, more now, but I'm talking in the
Back
80s.
then, yeah.
I mean, that's,
now there's so many more dangers for the kids
well,
here.
yeah.
This day and
social
age.
media, good Lord.
Sex trafficking
Yeah.
and, you know, the human trafficking and just it's so scary.
But that's the thing is if you're educating yourself on something like that.
I'm smiling because Becky said John Walsh. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. Thank you, and welcome to the show. I appreciate that.
But yeah, I mean, don't do dumb shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
travel with a buddy. It's not that complicated.
Right.
Especially if you're a female.
You're right, but sometimes that doesn't even matter too because I've watched so many different shows where there are two people together and then they end up getting kidnapped together. I mean, just there's a lot of fucked up people out there in this world.
Of course there is.
And now, like I said, I used to be more naive.
Right.
And now I'm just like, oh, man. But I've learned a lot from those shows to be more alert. Yes, there comes anxiety with watching those shows too, though, just as a disclaimer.
It's funny that you say that because there's a lot of people that watch murder porn.
Yeah.
Because of the anticipation and the constant intensities going on with it. And they have anxiety to begin with.
Yeah, well, when I was going through the whole adrenal fatigue, I had to stop literally watching that because with the adrenal fatigue, it was filling up my adrenal glands with all that adrenaline, and then it made it even worse. You know, and I do have anxiety about stuff like that. Yes, I worry about it. And before, it was kind of funny because I was just like, I'm too fat. You're not going to kidnap me. And now I'm just like, shit, now what I do?
Run.
I
run,
guess,
rabbit, run.
I guess it's time to learn some self-defense classes. But, you know, it's interesting, though, listening to the different stuff. But, man, there's some really screwed up people out there.
And that's the thing.
Super screwed up.
You look at it this way. It's not that you're accepting your fate, but if it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah, but what I've learned from those shows?
Yeah.
Claw, kick, scream. I mean, seriously, pull their hair out, any kind of DNA evidence that you can get to help them find that person.
That's the
so they
thing,
don't do it again.
Is when people get there, they have that sense of hopelessness. Yeah. You got to escape as if your life depends on it, because it does.
Right, for sure. Yeah, there's some pretty interesting stuff, and it's not just. I think one of the things that I've learned from watching those shows is primarily serial killers are actually white males.
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa, it's creepy though when you listen to all the different things. You know, it's interesting.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing is, white males are pretty fucked up.
Apparently so.
I can speak from experience.
I'm learning this. One of the things.
Nate just gave me the high side. He's like, "Wait a minute, did you say I can speak from experience?"
Right, weirdo.
What the fuck?
Creeper. But out at the Renaissance Festival this past season, we met one of the girls from Bitches and Murders
Yes. Oh, that was
podcast,
great.
and I've listened to a couple of their episodes actually, and it's actually really entertaining. I'd love to get them on the show.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to Bitches and Murders.
Yeah, it's funny because they start the show with "What's up, bitches," and one of them,
that's a callback to Joe Rogan, right? What's up, freak bitches?
is that? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I should know this. I like Joe Rogan. But one of them went to school for forensics, and the other one too was something along the lines with that. So they actually will do dissecting of these murders.
See,
and
I
talk
think
about
you'd be
'em.
great at forensics.
I think it'd be. Oh yeah.
Just because you're tenacious as fuck. You get something stuck in that little claw of yours, and you're like, I'm not giving it up till I solve the problem.
I would. I really think I would really like to do that until it's like somebody's eyeball or severed head, and I'm like,
See, that's the best part about it. I love that shit. Working like, triage or trauma in the ER. I love that shit because it's like somebody comes in with holes in them and they're bleeding all over the place, and it's like, what the hell happened here? While you're stitching them up.
Yeah, I mean, it would take some time to get used to that kind of thing, but I think it would be very interesting to help with solving crimes and cases and stuff. I think it would be
So
really
what are
cool.
some more weird world wonder things that you've discovered watching your murder porn?
Okay. Well, one of the scariest ones that I think that I've listened to.
Okay.
I think it was the House of H.H. Holmes.
Okay.
House of Horrors. He literally he built this house with tunnels or whatever behind the walls.
Okay.
And he would invite people to come and stay there.
Okay.
And it's so creepy. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up so I can tell you a little bit more about it. H.H. Holmes Hotel is what it was called. And let's see here. It was in let me see here. I'm trying to pull everything up. This is the only one
Take your time.
This is the only one I didn't have pulled up, which is interesting. I thought for sure I would have had everything together, but I did not. So
we're trained professionals.
H.H. Holmes was an American serial killer. He confessed to 20.
Comforting.
He confessed to 27 murders. Only 9 could be plausibly confirmed, and several of the people he claimed to have murdered were still alive. So that kind of makes it more interesting. I guess I didn't know that whole fact. He said to have killed as many of 200.
Wow.
Though this figure is only traceable to 1940s. Many victims were said to have been killed in mixed use building, which he owned. And let's see here. Supposedly called the World's Fair Hotel. The Murder Castle is what they ended up calling it.
The Murder Castle.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go stay at the Murder Castle, kids.
Yeah.
What
no
the
thanks.
fuck?
No, thank you. Yeah. Nope. He was married 3 different times too. That's pretty interesting. A lot of times.
Wow.
A lot of times, though, from watching these, the thing that's really weird is that they will go to do all these different murders, and then they'll end up having like a real family life and separate it. And the people that the wife or whatever will have no idea.
Wait, are you saying I'm a serial killer, Heather?
No.
Well, I'm a white guy and I have a real life.
No, you don't.
It's all fake.
Yeah, no. Come on, where is all the interesting stuff? So anyhow, I guess the weird thing is that he would have these people stay at the hotel, and then he'd end up killing them.
Yeah, and you're watching old what is it? The newspaper clippings or the old news shorts that they would have on like the news or whatever, the interviews and stuff, where they do of like the next door neighbors of these serial killers and stuff, and they'd be like, he seems so normal.
You're right. Like John Wayne Gacy.
Right. Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah. And what is normal?
That one creeps me out like a lot. That one is. Oh, that one creeps me out.
Ted Bundy.
Well, yeah. Watching that.
Right.
Well, which is on Netflix.
Right.
she had no idea either.
Right.
And all these women were like, "Oh my god, he's so good
Was
looking."
it what's the
Are you
dude's
serious?
the guy, the one that was recently with God, Zach what's the young kid that was in the
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron
He's the one
playing
that
Ted
played
Bundy.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
He did a good job. It was so hard to separate him from High School Musical, but still, he did a good job in it.
James Hetfield actually played the cop that found him in
Yeah.
there, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yeah, very, very interesting. There's just, you stop and you think and you're like, man, what goes through these people's heads? Because you have the differences between the ones that just snap and the ones that are calculated murders that plan all this stuff out. Yeah, premeditated. Like they plan all this. It's like, what in the hell? Like, where's your head at? I don't know. It's very, very.
Well, look at like Jack the
creepy.
Ripper. Okay.
Yeah.
They've never been able to solve Jack the Ripper. They've taken a bunch of people that were in custody or whatever it was. Some people were
yeah.
But other people, you know, because they've never solved it,
yeah,
are still suspect.
Jeremy's joining in and he says, all fake meatball. Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy from This Is My Brain
This
podcast.
is my brain
in
podcast in the house.
Hanging out. Oh, before we get any further, I want to say happy birthday and a shout out to Sean Cantwell from Solid State Radio.
Happy birthday, Sean!
Thank you, Sean. They re-air all of our podcasts from Strange Friends Media over there while we're working on getting This Is My Brain out there. A couple more shows under the belt, and he's
Sean said, I want more. I listened to it. I love it. This is great. Wait a minute. You guys are going to drop more February, March, and April. Are you guys insane? How are you doing this? So,
very much so.
Yeah, we're
very
people.
crazy. Very crazy. So I just want to give him that shout out really quick before we go any further into this. And you guys, you can check out all of our stuff re-aired there on solidstateradio.net and all of the other stuff that they've got.
Yeah.
Airing
Mitch's
all the
Fake
different
Radio,
shows.
Survivor Girl podcast, Don't Make This Weird, and soon to fucking be.
This Is My Brain.
This Is My Brain. Fucking forget about it.
Oh, speaking of the Survivor Girl podcast, we have a very interesting guest coming up on the 20th, I believe, or 15th, 20th.
Wow.
I work with him. He wrote a book. He
shit.
has been actually struck by lightning twice.
Interesting.
And he is a survivor, and he is going to tell about that story and other things that have happened to him in his life.
What's up, Sparky?
So keep on paying attention, watching for that, you guys. We'll have that aired. And anyhow, so we're talking about murders and all that different stuff, but there's more things out there in the world that are
I got
strange.
one for you.
Oh, okay, go.
Okay, aliens.
December 15th, Becky said, by the way. Thank you. Aliens. Okay. Let's talk about that. Go ahead and start that one out.
Okay. So now I can't take credit for all of this because actually my co-host on This Is My Brain, Jeremy, I firmly believe that aliens as we know it, the incarnation, the Hollywood little green men thing, or the little gray men with the big eyes, I don't believe that they're actually creatures from another planet or another part of the universe.
Okay.
I think that it's demonic possession.
Really?
Yeah.
Of what, though?
I don't know, just demons running around. You know, I believe it's an actual thing. Because here's the thing. I look at it this way. When you think of aliens, do you really think they're humanoid?
You know what? Honestly, I don't know what the hell they are, but I do believe that they exist.
Well, yeah, I believe aliens exist. But I mean, when you look at, okay, so you've got things from Mars, right? They're Martian.
Right.
You have things from Earth. They're Earthling. You have things from Venus. They're Veneers or whatever.
They're Veners.
Veners. But, you know, or people from Jupiter or whatever it is. You know, that's the thing. You've got bacteria that has come from an asteroid out in the asteroid belt that is smashed into Earth. It's alien to the Earth.
Right, exactly.
So That's an alien.
Then there's all kinds of other things too, like different species that are in the water.
Right.
There's all kinds of stuff that we have not even discovered yet.
Absolutely.
You
So
know.
why do aliens have to be bipedal humanoid?
Okay.
I mean, if that's the case, but that's just my opinion.
Right.
Do I think aliens exist? Yes. Do I think they exist in the forms that we've been dictated to through Hollywood and all this other stuff? I highly
It's hard to
doubt
tell. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you've seen the movie The Fourth Kind, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of that was fabricated just because people would go off in the wilderness and disappear and not come back.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. The story that was actually a true story, but it didn't happen in Nome, Alaska. The chick was possessed by a demon.
Okay.
So they pawned it off as, oh, it's an alien, and they stole her children and into the spaceship and vaporized or whatever it was. But yeah, I firmly think that the little green men are just demons running around. I don't think they're aliens from another fucking planet. I mean, really, ET's going to come 4,000 light years away.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting my freaking tinfoil hat. I'm not reading this, brain.
But it's ridiculous, though. Do you really think ET's going to travel 4.5 million light years away to go, hey, I'm going to abduct you and stick something up your ass?
That's an interesting thing. Like,
I mean, really? Seriously.
I mean, yeah.
The 4.5 million light years away, the first place you're going to travel is up someone's ass? Really?
Right.
What the fuck?
Huh. I think this is where you plug it in, Carl. I mean,
beep wop, beep beep wop.
nanu.
Right.
Yeah. I think this is where their electrical goes. Right up Main Street. Yeah, I don't get that either. Are you looking at chat?
I was just looking at chat.
And Jeremy.
It says, "Hey peeps, Jack was a royal, and then Wiener Schnitzel
Ites. So inflammation of Wiener Schnitzel. That's what he just said. If you go medically terminology there, but yeah, I don't know.
I was probed by a Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzelite. Oh, I don't think I'd say that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Okay.
It was German.
Nothing
yeah?
against the South, but that shit writes itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got tornadoes traveling through trailer parks, and then the next thing you know, they're on the news interviewing Cooter
and his cousin wife.
His cousin, his sister wife,
sister cousin wife.
I seen lights, and then I came to, and my ass hurt.
What?
There was lights everywhere. Wait, what? Hold on, Cooter.
It makes me think of freaking Creep Show with Stephen King, Stephen King, where he touches the meteorite and then all of a sudden he turns into this like moss man or some crap. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
That's the thing, though. Where's the credibility? Okay. I highly doubt with the. I mean, okay, so just to travel across light years of space.
Yeah.
You got to have some pretty badass technology, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how it is. And I'm sure it won't make sense to any of us. But to travel across thousands of light years, land in southern United States.
Oh, Jeff is saying all things are possible, few things are probable. Only one thing for certain is Jesus Christ is Lord.
Amen to that, brother.
I mean, it's an interesting subject. Different.
Well,
I don't know.
To jump off of what Jeff was saying and off the heels of what we talked about on This Is My Brain, conspiracy theories. Why are they lying to us? It was a lot of that stuff. If you have not caught that, go watch that.
That was a very interesting show.
HFTC TV. It's an incredible show. But no, that's the thing is, if they've lied to you about one thing, then they've lied to you about all this other stuff because, hey, it's a conspiracy theory. And if you say a lie long enough and loud enough, people are going to believe it, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, butter's bad for you. All right, so let's make plastic and put that on our toast.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Well, we're on this subject of aliens. The Roswell UFO incident.
Like Area 51 shit?
Like, yeah, in mid-1947, when the United Army Air Force balloon crashed at a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay.
But they said that it looked in the following wide initial interest in the crash flying disc, the U.S. military stated that it was merely a conventional weather balloon. But there was
now you're getting into like Men in Black.
All right. What's that? Right. So I mean, so they're saying that they were seeing the UFO, like UFO crash, and then little green men dead.
Right. Yeah.
You know. So there's this, and then they're saying, well, the military they covered that up, and because all of a sudden it was there and then it wasn't.
Of course.
Like they couldn't find any crash pieces. There wasn't, but the people that had seen it,
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is if you talk to anybody that's been in the military, what's the first thing they laugh at when you start talking to them? Military intelligence.
Yeah.
Really? No, they're just really good at covering shit up and sweeping it under the rug to where people are like, "No, we're good." But yeah, I think it's all preposterous. I mean, do I think like the Roswell stuff happened? Maybe. Okay, I wasn't there. I don't know. Do I think Area 51 exists? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not in Nevada. It's in Colorado Springs where they have that military base in the side of a mountain.
Okay. Yeah, this is all
because
new.
It's all under huge security and everybody knows it's there. It's a bunker.
Right.
You know, go online, look this shit up. It's all right there. Where else are you going to get that kind? Right. Ticket attack. Exactly. Just like you do down there. But no, how is it that all of this stuff's there? It's under a huge point of security.
Right.
And it's inside of a fucking mountain.
And no, you can't storm it, apparently. That whole thing. It was like every other freaking post on Facebook. Now we're all on. Now everybody's on to fucking Epstein didn't hang himself, and who knows,
didn't
kill himself, whatever. And then who knows what we're on this week.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to say to stick it to the man. Fuck Hillary Clinton and what was it? Louder with Crowder and the other guy that did the InfoWars. The fuck's his name? Damn it. Jeremy, help me out. Fuck.
Jeremy said fake story to cover up illegal secret government testing.
Thank you.
So, I mean, they talked about, you guys talked about that, the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. What the fuck was I don't know the guy's name.
Good God, man. Get your shit together.
It's a conspiracy. They did a mind wipe on me.
That's what happened. So, I mean, there's that. There's that. So there's
Alex Jones. That's who the fuck it is.
So from what people say, the probes happen. Apparently, aliens.
My asshole hurts.
Apparently, aliens are interested in humans about their sex and about strawberry ice cream.
Further supports.
I don't remember where I heard all of that. But.
Which further supports my theory: demonic possession is truly sodomizing yourself.
Gross.
That's disgusting. Demons like butt sex.
Well, you heard it here on the Don't Make This Weird podcast. Glad that that's cleared up for you, aren't you?
Seriously, that is some fucked up shit. Like, go and research that stuff. I am not even joking.
Oh, my God.
Not the butt sex part, but the demons part.
But the whole, okay, so now you're going on to possession, dynamic. Oh, my
demonic.
God. Possession. So you've probably seen The Conjuring and all of those different things. So what do you think about that stuff?
You and I went to the theater and saw, what was it, Annabelle?
Oh my God, yes.
I'm fucking with you the whole time. And you're like, knock it off, jerk. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
And I said, it's not Count Chocula. Like, he was being so stupid. I'm like, I'm not going to jump from
No,
this.
here's the thing. I grew up watching shit in the 80s where it was that, senseless violence and gore. And
Back when
hacking
shit was good.
Right. Here's the thing. You look
Graphics
at
weren't, but
it's not the serial killer part. It was the fact that somebody went through some fucked up shit and then started killing kids in their dreams or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Or a kid drowned at a fucking lake and then they decided to go through and start axe murdering everybody with a machete.
freaking creepy good son.
Right. That's my point. Okay.
Right.
This all spawned from a tragic event, and an axe murderer came out of the whole equation.
Yeah.
All right. That is very feasible. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Inbred hillbillies running around the woods with a fucking chainsaw.
They were almost all of those horror movies were like Bates Motel and all that were based off of.
Right.
Gosh, dang it. We're getting too old for this shit.
But that's my point, though. Okay.
Off of one serial killer, though, that Bates Motel.
Charles Manson.
No, it wasn't him.
No, I'm saying that's another example.
Yeah, that's another one that Hollywood took and ran with. Oh, Ed Gein.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
Bates Motel was based off of him.
Yep.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based off of him, and there was a couple other ones that were based off of him too. Which he was seriously fucked up.
Of course,
he did some pretty crazy stuff, and he legitly was taking people's skin and making like aprons and stuff.
Jeffrey
out of it.
Dahmer. Come on, really? That's it.
Oh, by the way, Jeremy said it was Alex Jones.
I see. I got it right, Alex Jones.
Okay.
Jones Alex.
So, but anyhow. Going on, keeping with the whole, the Conjuring and all of that different stuff.
It's all bullshit.
Ed and Lorraine, you don't feel like any of that.
It's Hollywood propaganda to sell a story.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Do I subscribe to the theory that Hollywood likes to go through and make the hairs stand up on the back of your neck?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, of course. All day long.
Boo. Hey, we're going to make $1 million off
right.
of this. Now, the twisted part about that is like the Saw movies.
Ugh.
Okay. Do I believe that shit's a bit more real? Oh, yeah, because it takes a fucking mastermind to figure that shit out. But it's crazy over-the-top gore porn.
Yeah.
But still, when you look at the psychological profile of people that can do that, that is far more fucking scary than watching blood hit the screen.
Do you think a lot of people will, like, not a lot of people, but people actually copycat a lot of this? Have you heard?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Reading these books and doing
Look
these
what they did
things.
was The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the dude like drove by, shot up a movie theater. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with it? They were pulling the same bullshit with Joaquin Phoenix's incarnation of the Joker.
Yeah.
Because the theme of the movie was this dude fell through the cracks and society basically pissed all over him and then didn't want to accept responsibility for this person literally being fucked up. And he was saying all through the course of the movie, I have a mental illness.
Right. And
I need help. And nobody was taking me seriously.
Yeah.
And yet, boom, what happens? Spoiler alert, he fucking shoots this TV host right on live TV.
Never watched it. Thanks for that.
But that's the point, though, is it was an honest look at what's going on in society today.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean,
So,
seriously, there's so much of that happening now.
And if you're running with an agenda, as most people are in the movie critic circles, oh, this is too serious. There's going to be copycats. No, fuck you. Go watch the movie and pay attention. Don't be a dick to somebody because they may be on their last leg and your dickish deed will be the thing that pushes them over the edge.
Yeah.
Just be a fucking decent person.
That's good advice. Jeremy says Hollywood makes evil and good God, just do
demonic.
it. Just go ahead.
Demonic themes, sexy, and feeds on the fear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So we've talked about the different things with the paranormal and the aliens and possession and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What about the whole Sasquatch and
Squatchers?
Squatchers.
Absolutely.
That?
See, I believe in squatchers for the simple fact is that what is there on the earth? We're talking trillions of square acres that we have not had the opportunity to discover.
Right.
You can't be in any of this acreage all at the same time. I
True.
mean, same thing with the ocean. Do I believe that the Kraken is down there? Do I believe the Leviathan's down there? Yeah, you're talking trillions, quadrillions of miles of ocean
Right.
that shit lives in.
Loch Ness monster.
Right.
Monster. Nessie.
Nessie, right. I mean,
Right.
you look at, okay, so you follow the biblical interpretation of that.
Okay.
When God was talking to Job, were you there when I created Leviathan and the thunder behemoth or whatever it was?
Mm-hmm.
He's describing all of these things that how many dinosaur bones have they discovered?
Oh yeah, there was a mastodon discovered just over in Mayville, not too far away from where we're at the Fowler Center. I believe,
Right.
You know?
That's my point. Is
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So all of this stuff is put in the Bible and talks about this stuff. All right, if that shit's true, well, why wouldn't there be a Leviathan?
Huh? Good point.
Okay, so I mean, and you've proven that. I mean, good God, they've showed so many different magazine articles with these people taking pictures, laying next to a bronodon's femur,
Yeah.
and it's taller than an adult man.
Right. And then we don't see those these days.
Right.
So to actually sit there and think about this whole thing, this
Right.
big thing,
Right.
it's like, I don't know.
I mean, what was
You
it? What was it? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? It was 2016 or
Mhm.
2017. I can't remember. Anyways, but there was was it giant squid? I don't know. They had to change the size of squids
Right.
because this was the biggest one they'd ever saw. It had come to the surface and died, and it got caught in a fishing net. This thing was like 75 feet
Yeah. That's crazy.
long.
That is crazy.
It was insanity. And at that point in time, they had not discovered a squid that was that big.
Yeah. Well, with you talking about the squid thing, I'm smiling because I'm thinking of Otto.
Otto the
octopus.
dickhead octopus.
So that messes with anything that inhibits in his space.
Yeah.
He juggles.
Yeah.
He juggles other animals that are in his space.
Jeremy chimes
Also-
in and says, I saw some poop. Sasquatch's clothes.
Oh my god.
No, you got to lure Sasquatch in with beef jerky. Come on.
So
dude.
anyway, so he will short circuit lamps and lighting because he gets bored. Hits rocks on his aquarium trying to get out. I listening to this story or reading this story was
Yeah.
just hilarious. I'm just like, oh my god, this octopus is bored as book.
Well, when you look
You
at
know?
Finding Dory, that's kind of
Yeah.
what they
Kind
modeled
yeah,
that
I
octopus
bet you.
after.
Yeah, now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I can see that. There's just so many things that are interesting when we talk about
Yeah.
animals and the different stuff. Like today on the way to work, I was hearing this Noel. It's an electric eel that they have in
Yeah.
Tennessee right now
Yeah.
that they are using to light a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Anytime that it eats or is happy or excited, it generates more electricity, and they're showing how that science is with that. It's just really cool. There's so many different
Oh,
things,
absolutely.
that you wouldn't think of like that. I never would have thought of
Yeah.
that.
If you look at any of my YouTube history, I'm one of those guys that go on YouTube adventures, and they're kind of limited because I'll try and go back and find videos and they're deleted. So fuck you, YouTube. I hate you.
Of course.
But no, it's incredible to watch some of this stuff. Like the Hutchinson effect.
Mm-hmm.
Have you studied any of that?
I have not.
So this dude basically created 0 point energy.
Okay.
Like the Incredibles,
Mhm.
the villain guy syndrome or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Hutchinson actually did that and was commissioned by Japan
Mm-hmm.
to create these different projects bringing 0 point energy. So it was just a conspiracy thing. Educate yourself. on it.
Yeah, everybody out there, I challenge you to look that up as well. There's
It's
so many
incredible
different
stuff.
theories,
It's incredible
or
stuff.
effects like Mandela.
The Mandela effect.
Facts,
Yeah.
There's just so many different things out there, and we kind of got to talking before the show, and it was just like,
Yeah.
there's so many different things weird in this world, or different things that are unexplainable, or people feel different about. Like, For instance, we've talked about the aliens and different things. We both obviously have different views on that.
Of course.
But that's okay. And that's another thing that we wanted to show tonight with the Don't Make This Weird episode is that you can have a conversation with each other and not become assholes if you don't
Right.
agree with each other.
You can agree to disagree. The thing is you got to go out and you got to educate yourself on this
Right.
stuff.
For sure.
So, do the due diligence. Argue the opposite side that you would normally argue.
Yeah.
My professor in college used to do that stuff all the time. He's like, okay, so you have a stance on this. Counter argue yourself.
Yeah.
To educate yourself on what your debate is going to be about. So that way you can kind of see, because that's the thing. There's no such thing as classical debate anymore.
Yeah.
It comes down to if you have an opinion.
You're right. Nobody else is.
Right.
I hate that.
And yet, if you can yell loud enough, your opinion is the rightest. And
or
it's
if
like,
you can
no.
caps loud enough on your keyboard because you're a damn
social
keyboard
justice
ninja.
warrior.
You're a damn keyboard ninja hiding out on the internet thinking that your opinion is the only thing that's right. I've seen so many different things.
Such bullshit.
It makes me just want to stay away even more from Facebook and
I've made it a point, and you and Becky have inspired me.
Okay.
To just kind of step away from all of the social media bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it is so fucking toxic.
It is actually when you stop and you look at all of the different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a lot of people that I do know personally that are on my Facebook that I absolutely love, but it always seems like every other minute there's something that is really going wrong and they got to talk about it on Facebook. And it's interesting because I know I used to post quite a bit, and there was times when I look back at the old memories that come up.
Yep.
Thank you, Facebook, for reminding me.
Right.
Back when I was that shithead, that I was just like,
wish I had my old Facebook. Fuck you, Facebook.
But so I look at the old memories that pop up, and part of me is just, oh, I got a headache again. Oh God, I got an earache and a sinus infection. I'm like, good God, do you have to tell everybody how unhealthy you are on Facebook?
Right.
No. So if you notice,
wash your dirty laundry, don't air it.
Yeah, don't air it. So if you notice, like now I don't post that much about pretty much anything. If I see something that I like and I want to share with everybody, I do. If it's a positive thing, I prefer to just share that. I don't like to talk about. I mean, yes, I have a podcast. We've got several podcasts. We've got this one together. We talk about a lot of things like cry farming and different stuff like that. But
we need the graphic somewhere just to pop up there with this stupid little chicken.
I'm gonna have to take a video of him going back and forth and then find a Moana song or something. I don't know. But so I realized how toxic that can be to sit there and post like that on Facebook.
Right.
And honestly, if you guys can step away, I mean, yes, we have to be on for all the social media stuff that we advertise for the podcast and whatnot, but you don't have to be on there 24/7.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is, share positive shit if you're going to be on social media.
Right.
Contribute to being part of the solution, not perpetuating the problem.
Right. Oh, for sure.
And you can tell that when you post positive stuff and somebody chimes in and goes, well, yeah, but this is the actual issue. And then you post something else positive. And someone else chimes on and says, well, no, this is the real issue.
No, what that gets you?
Right.
30 days in my Facebook jail.
Oh, exactly. That's my point. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Stop trying to find a problem for every one of my solutions.
Right.
And be part of the contributing factor of helping me find solutions.
Yeah.
I have enough struggles in here most days just to function and not be a dickhead to everyone because I'm listening to the huge generating, self-deprecating, self-doubt machine churning away in my head.
Right.
That just to go, I really like you. I really care about you. You mean something to me. Instead of, fuck off. How could you possibly like me? I'm an asshole.
And it boils down to that, boys and girls.
Right.
But it's true, though. I mean, there's just so much stuff that we already have going on in our own heads. And to actually see all of the drama and all the different things that are, that pop up on a daily, and it's true. We don't know all of the people that we have on our Facebooks. There's so many things that pop up and different personalities and everything. And we Becky and I talked about some of this on the Survivor Go podcast of friendship and what it means to
Yeah.
have a friend, what it means to be friendly, not friends. You know, all kinds of different things. That episode was pretty interesting because there's so many different things.
And sometimes you got to
Acquaintances.
respectfully stick your kneecap in someone's ass to go, you're being a dick.
Told you, probing. There you go.
No,
Alien.
I'm
I
not
knew it.
I'm not a demon into butt sex.
Knew it.
I'm just saying. Sometimes you. Was that a squatch?
It sounded like it was a squeaky squat right out the squeaky cheek. Squeaky sneaky. Farting happening in here, and it wasn't me, boys and girls. It wasn't me.
Kablammy.
So, yeah.
But yeah, you know, when you surround yourself with people that don't have a problem being positive,
Yeah.
it's that much easier to call each other respectfully on your dumb shit.
Right. For sure.
Because it's coming from a place of love. It's not coming from a place of, well, I'm gonna, you know, anally probe you because you brought out the Satan in me.
Oh my God. A little less Satan, please. I prefer no Satan. But, you know.
Not today, Satan!
Not today, Satan. I've got my leg prisons on and
and pray the
know.
alien away.
Yeah. So, oh my God. Breaking. I don't know.
You don't know what he did to me, and I liked it.
I'm getting broken. Broken. Yes. Becky says
Yes.
it's called boundaries and having healthy ones.
Thank God someone gets that.
For sure. You know, and that's the thing, like the whole positive morning messages and stuff. Like
It's incredible.
I enjoy doing
love
that.
that.
And it's selfish because it helps me too.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's important. I think it is very important that you guys find things that you can do in the morning to start your days off right, instead of going right to Facebook and going, oh my God, it's a pit of despair.
If you don't start your day with your headspace being in the right space, forget it.
Yeah.
Because the rest of your day is just going to be one dumpster fire after another.
Yep, that's for sure. And I think on that is where we could go ahead and end the show tonight because it's already that time.
What?
Yeah. So
What
I
the-
hope that you guys found something interesting out of this,
What the fire truck?
and that you guys will have a discussion amongst yourselves, maybe nicely. Educate each other. Don't sit there and point out why you think that this person is stupid.
Yeah, don't be like Heather
Because
and
they
say,
have-
well, fuck you, you're wrong. I don't agree with you.
I don't say that. I don't say that. Stop it. All right, I've done that before, but anyhow, thank you guys for joining us on the Don't Make This Weird podcast. Come join us next Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Punch that like button in the mouth!
Right in the mouth. Right in the gravy train hole. I don't think that's what it's
Punch
called.
that like button in the mouth like demons like butt sex.
And there you go. All right. So with that being said, go and like our page. Please. Share us and all that fun jazz. We'll talk to you guys next Thursday. Have a great week, and we'll see you later.